Hello all, this is Vijayendra Gaikwad and we are going to see about the MongoDB's CRUD operations. Like in conventional relational databases like the MySQL, we have to execute the basic operations like create, insert, retrieve, that is in the form of select command, update and delete command. These form the basic CRUD operations. Similar to that, in MongoDB as well, we have these CRUD operations. Let us begin and see how to execute the create, retrieve, update, and delete operations in case of MongoDB. As you all must be knowing that MongoDB is a document-based NoSQL database. Document based means whatever data we are going to store it in the form of documents. Like in relational databases, we have databases, in that we have tables, in that we have multiple rows in which we store the data. Similarly, in case of NoSQL database, document based databases like the MongoDB, we have the database in which we have collections. In place of tables, we have collections and we have documents. In those documents, we are going to store the data. So, as an analogy, we can imagine that relational databases have tables, whereas MongoDB has collections. Relational databases has rows, whereas MongoDB has documents. We all know that MongoDB is schemaless database. That means we need not create the database prior to inserting any record, right? So here the create operation does not refer to creation of the document, creation of the collection, but simply to insert one. For example, if I want, if I have a document which has some attributes, for example, name, and its value is ABC. Another attribute or field in my document is age 27, for example. Another attribute as address, and its value is Pune. So this is what my document looks like. A MongoDB document looks like, right? So it is not at all necessary that all the documents in a given collection of MongoDB will have these three columns or these three fields. Sorry, if I want to have a new document in my collection, in the same collection, which does not specify the address, like this, maybe the name is XYZ, sorry. So the new document is having name as XYZ and the age is 28. So it is possible, since MongoDB is schemaless, we don't have a specific format or a structure in which we are going to store the data. So not all the fields in a MongoDB document are always mandatory. You may have different documents with different number of fields in the same collection. That is what we are going to see. So this is nothing but a set of any document you can imagine as a set of key value pairs wherein the key is specified, colon, the value of that key is specified. This format is same to that of the JSON, right? So in that also we follow the same key value pair format. Okay, now we are going to see the first basic database creation operation. Now, usually in relational databases, we used to fire the create database command, right? Here, we don't need to fire the create database command. We simply y- provide the command use and the database name. For example, my database is Vijayendra. Now, once we execute this command, the database will be created. So, if we try to execute the same statement on our MongoDB prompt, then we see that the database we have switched to the database VIJDB. Fine. Now, if we want to see the databases, we will type show DBs. But hey, we can't see the newly created database over here. The reason is until and unless we store some documents in the database, it will not be shown. So it is created but still not shown over here. In order to create a collection, now we have created the database, then we have to create a collection, and then we have to insert a document into the collection. But as I told, we don't have a specific step separately, explicitly for creating the collection. So, in order to create a collection, we straight away specify db dot the collection name. Uh, let my collection be students. Name of the collection is students dot insert. Now uh, here is where we are going to create a document which is going to be inserted into the collection called as students. Fine. So at the time of document creation, the document will be created and will be stored in the respective or the specified collection. Here we have a couple of variants of the insert operation. We can use insert one function to insert a single document into the given collection. So, for example, I am storing the same data which we saw earlier. So again, since we are storing a document, we'll have to specify the curly braces in that the first field which we want for that particular document. For example, it is the roll number. Suppose roll number is 1, then the name, colon. Since name is a string, we have to specify it in single quotes, maybe ABC, comma, the third field which we want, uh, maybe the marks of that student, 85. Okay, now this is how we are going to specify the contents of the document encompassed by curly braces. Press enter, you'll get the object ID for that document. So in MongoDB, for every document, we are going to have a separate object ID, which is automatically generated and assigned to that document. Now, if I want to insert any other document, or let us now try to insert a set of documents directly. So another variant of insert function is insert many. In that, we can specify a set of documents that we want to insert. Now, since this is a set of documents, we need to specify them into square brackets. That means we are going to insert an array of documents. So that is why we have a square bracket, and in between those square brackets, we are going to specify the documents. So let the roll number now be 2, name be XYZ, let the marks be suppose 80. So this is one document. If I want to specify the other document, I'll put a comma, and as the next element of my array, another document will be encompassed in the curly braces. Here, as I discussed earlier, there's no compulsion that we need to maintain the same number and sequence of fields. So here I'm going to specify the roll number, and I'm going to specify uh, maybe just the name as uh, PQR. Fine. So the two documents in this array will now be inserted, and two object IDs will be assigned to them. So here we have inserted three records altogether. Another variant is that we can specify, or we can have document inside a document. Now what does that mean? Remember, in relational databases, we had the concept of multi-valued attributes, right? So address was considered to be multi-valued attribute. In that, when we have to create a table, we need to have a separate column for each of the multi-valued attributes. Here, we can incorporate all the values of a single attribute, that means a field, as subfields of a given field. For example, if I want to add a document, let me erase the unwanted things. Here we are going to insert only a single document. That's why the function will be 1. Insert 1. Let the roll number be 4. Let the name be MNR, or whatever the name you want to specify. Let the marks be 89, and here we are going to specify address. Now remember, there's no restriction. We can add any number of fields for any number of documents since there's no schema. Here, address is our field for the new document that we are trying to insert into students collection. This address is now a, it is a collection of more than one documents. So here we have inserted three records altogether. Another variant is that we can specify, or we can have document inside a document. Now what does that mean? Remember, in relational databases, we had the concept of multi-valued attributes, right? So address was considered to be multi-valued attribute. In that, when we have to create a table, we need to have a separate column for each of the multi-valued attributes. Here, we can incorporate all the values of a single attribute, that means a field, as subfields of a given field. For example, if I want to add a document, let me erase the unwanted things. Here we are going to insert only a single document. That's why the function will be 1. Insert 1. Let the roll number be 4. Let the name be MNR, or whatever the name you want to specify. Let the marks be 89, and here we are going to specify address. Now remember, there's no restriction. We can add any number of fields for any number of documents since there's no schema. Here, address is our field for the new document that we are trying to insert into students collection. This address is now a, it is a collection of more than one documents. Now, here we are going to insert a document in the original document. So the document obviously should be enclosed within curly braces. So here's a curly braces. In that we are going to specify, for example, the street related information of the address. Now the street will be maybe some new street. Another aspect of the address is maybe the district. So again, we will specify the another aspect uh, by the same method, value and the key and the value, sorry. So whatever address components are there or subfields are there, that will be put in as a new document. So for the address field, you can see here, address is a key for which a value is a document itself, right? So in that document, we have a street field whose value is new street, comma, another field district whose value is Pune. So here our sub document ends, and here our main document ends, and this is the I uh, we did not require, we don't need this because we are specifying only one document to be inserted. Fine. So this is all. So this method is called as embedding of a document inside a document. This, we are embedding a document in the original document. Fine. So if you press enter, it gives another object ID for this particular insertion, and we now have 4 documents inside a collection of students. In order to view which documents are there currently in our collection, we will use db dot the collection name dot find. So find is another function. Sorry, I'm sorry. The name was students. There we go. So we have our 4 documents inside the collection students. So this find function is nothing but you can correlate it with the select query in our SQL databases. So like select gave us all the rows of a table, find is going to give all the documents of the collection. Understood? Okay. Now, like in the select query, we could specify the where clause, which would filter the rows from a table and provide it uh, as the result to us. Similarly, we can specify certain conditions in the find function, or to the find function we will specify certain arguments. So the first argument, obviously, since the find function will accept only objects as argument, that too document as object, so we'll have to specify it in curly braces. So if we are finding, for example, if we are trying to find only those documents whose uh, marks are maybe greater than 85, okay, or let us take the very basic variant of the find function. Let us try to find the record or the document with roll number 2. Okay, here as the condition, we have to firstly specify what is the target field. So here our field is roll number and what the value of that field is. So 2. As a result, we are going to get the respective document from our collection. Fine. So that was quite simple. Just remember, as a condition, we are going to pass a document to the find function, and what that document will consist, what target field we want to specify, and what is the expected value of that field. That's all. Now, as a part of complex selection, we may require to specify certain conditions, like where marks are greater than 80 or marks are greater than 85, right? So in order to do that, we will have to specify the required column, that is marks colon. Here we don't use directly the operators, but we use dollar $GT. This dollar $GT specifies greater than. Okay, so marks which are greater than the specified value, what the value will be, suppose 85. Okay, if you press enter, oh, there's something has gone. Oh yeah, we forgot to put the colon over here. So even after the GT, we have to specify colon. So you can have any other uh, operators over here, like less than, greater than, equal to, whatever you want. Now it gives us the required uh, set of documents which satisfy the given condition. So we had only one document whose marks were greater than 85, which we got as result. Fine. So if we want to specify in the condition part, we want to specify uh, our composite, sorry, uh, the field like address, which is having a subdocument, right? So in that case, we can use, let me erase this firstly. Now our condition will have, since this is this condition involves a field and a subfield, so we'll have to specify these two inside double quotes. Otherwise we would simply specify it into single quote. We would simply specify it directly like we specified earlier as marks and the required value or the required condition, right? But here we will specify address dot the subfield for which we are going to impose the condition. For example, we have two subfields here. uh, for the address we have two subfields, street and district. Let me select district. So this is the field and subfield for which the condition is going to be put up, and what the condition would be specified after colon, and I want the records, find the records for the district Pune. So in double quotes, we specified address dot district, and as the value, we specified Pune. Here's the result. We have got the required document. We have found the required document. So I hope the variants of the find function are clear, or how we can specify the condition for finding the documents in a given condition. That is clear. So we have covered up till now C and R, that is create and retrieve, of our four operations, out of our four operations, that is the CRUD operations. Fine. Next, let us see how we can perform the update operation in MongoDB. So, like for the other two operations we saw, there is a function for updating as well. Update. Now, there are a couple of variants of update function. If we want the if we want to perform updation, we are going to specify the condition which will target the required document in which the updation should take place, right? Now, if we have more than one documents which satisfies the given condition, in that case, if we use the update function, only the first document uh, which satisfies the condition will be updated, not the other ones. But if we want that all the documents which satisfy the given condition should get updated, then we'll have to use update many function. Okay, for now, let us only use the update function. So as the first argument to this update function, we'll have to pass the any field information with which we'll be able to identify the relevant document in which we want to perform the updation. For example, I'm using the roll number field to identify the second document. So where the roll number is 2. Okay, so this becomes my condition. Uh, this is the first argument to the update function, which specifies the condition. As the second argument, I'll have to specify the keyword set $set colon, again in another pair of curly braces, the new value or the updated value, the key and the value. For example, I want to update the marks for roll number 2. So in that document, I'll have to set marks with the updated value. So here I will specify marks as, sorry, yes, marks as, currently the marks are 80. I would like the marks to be now 86. So again, if we fetch all the records, if we retrieve all the documents, we'll see now the marks for roll number 2. Earlier the marks were 80, now we can see 86 over here. Okay, fine. So this was the update statement. As I told, if there are multiple documents present in the collection which satisfy this given condition, then if we want all of them to get updated, we'll have to use the function update many. But here I don't see any such condition. Uh, so maybe for you all to practice. Another thing that I want to point out here is I use the update function. So if I don't use uh, this set keyword, for example, I just keep it like this. So the first argument for the update function is the selection criteria, and the second is the value uh, the field and the new value, the updated value, if I only keep like this. So what will happen is it will update that document completely. That means it will only keep the marks field in that column. Now we have three fields in that document: roll number, name, and marks, right? So if I only uh, specify the updated value for the respective field, in that case, the entire document will be cleared and only one field will exist in the document, that is marks. So I'm updating the document with roll number 2 and only keeping the marks as 86 in that document. That is how we will interpret it. Now, if we again try to find all the documents, you can see that in the previous set of documents, for the second document we had three fields: roll number as 2, name as xyz, and marks as 86. But now with the above update function, the only field which is left in the second document is the marks, as we discussed. Okay, now let us see the delete operation. So this is the current status of our collection. We have fired the find function and we know that there are 4 documents currently. So in order to delete a document from the collection, we will have to use delete one or delete many function. Again, to delete any document from the collection, we will have to specify one condition to select that document. Here, if we specify roll number as 2, there's no roll number as 2 because we have already erased it. If we specify a document with roll number 1, for example, then the document whose roll number field has the value 1, that document will be deleted from our collection. As you can see, if we fire the find function again, the first document is no more in the collection. Again, if we want to delete more than one records, more than one documents from our collection, as I said, we will use the function delete many. Firstly, let us insert few documents which satisfy the same condition. Yeah, we'll use here we'll insert array of documents by using the insert many function as we did earlier. We are entering a document with roll number 5, name xyz, and marks as 80, and we are entering another document with roll number 5, name as pqr. Yeah, that's the only 2 fields in the second document. Fine, got inserted. If we find, we can see those 2 inserted documents in our collection. Now if we want to delete both of those documents, we'll have to specify delete many. But we should know that there are more than one documents in the given collection that satisfy the given criteria for deletion. So, for example, if I say roll number 5, I know there are more than one documents whose roll number field is having the value of 5. So, if I execute this, it says that delete count is 2, and if we find it again, we see that the two documents with roll number 5 are deleted. So, these were the CRUD operations: create, retrieve, update, and delete in case of MongoDB. We have seen all the variants of the find function, the update function, the delete function, and also the insert function. As I discussed earlier, if we want to create a database, we will simply use the command as use and the database name, sorry, the name of the database, and this will not create the database until unless we will enter a document in the respective database. Once we enter the document by using the collection name and the insert one or insert many function, only then we'll be able to see those databases. So if we say show DBS, it will give all the databases, and here's our database VijayDB. It is having negligible data, that's why the size is being specified as 0.000 GB. If I want to see the collections, so again I will collections present in my database which I'm currently using, I'll simply fire select, sorry, show collections, and in my database VIJDB which I'm currently using, I have a single collection called as students. So if I want to find the collections, I'll say show collections, and in that collection, if I want to find how many documents are there, then I'll have to obviously use db dot the collection name dot find function. These are the documents. So that was all. If you are having any query, you can mention it in the comment section. Thank you.